You're practicing, but not improving, and you know it. There's a specific reason this happens, and it has nothing to do with talent. By the end, you'll understand the one system that separates serious practitioners from those stuck at average. Most practice doesn't work. You can feel that frustration every session. The hours aren't translating into real skill. Here's what's actually happening. You're repeating the same mistakes faster. Autopilot practice is just expensive. Stalling, most people never figure this out. Today you will pause and think about your last practice session. Did you measure anything, or just play until you got tired? Most practitioners spend time, not attention. They show up, they go through motions, they call it discipline. This is the mistake that costs years. In a moment, I'll show you the measurement system that separates the top 1% from everyone else. But first, understand why hours alone mean nothing. Your brain doesn't care about time invested, it cares about feedback loops closed. When you practice the same way repeatedly without correction, your nervous system learns the pattern exactly as you're doing it. Right now, if you're struggling with something, you might be cementing the struggle into your neurology. That's the opposite of improvement. That's practice hardening failure into your system. Pay attention to this part. The research on skill acquisition is clear. Experts aren't born with better genes or magical talent. They're people who figured out a system. That system has specific components. Most people try to skip them. The skipping is why they plateau. Here's what separates the people who improve from the people who stall. It's not motivation. Motivation dies. It's not hours. Hours without direction produce mediocrity. It's a repeatable process that targets weakness specifically, measures whether it's improving, and adjusts when results stall. Think of a guitarist stuck on speed. She can play the song slowly. When she tries to increase tempo, her fingers fumble. Most guitarists respond by just playing faster repeatedly. This doesn't work. Her nervous system is already programmed for the slower tempo. Repetition at the wrong speed doesn't reprogram it. Here's what she should do instead. Isolate the three-note pattern where the fumble happens. Play it at half speed. Use a metronome. Focus on clean execution. Only when she hits 95% accuracy do she increase tempo by 5 BPM. 3 weeks later, at this pace, the full song flows. Results vary based on consistency and current level. What's different between that approach and just playing faster? Everything. The first approach targets the weakness. It measures success with a clear standard. It increases difficulty gradually. It respects the nervous system's need for clean repetition before adding speed. This is the difference between practice and deliberate practice. This is why some people improve and others waste years. Most miss this completely. They confuse seniority with expertise. A guitarist with 5 years of playing the same patterns is not necessarily better than someone with 6 months of deliberate practice. If those 5 years were autopilot, the guitarist didn't improve after year 1. That's not controversial. That's neurology. Now it gets real. Your nervous system requires 3 conditions to improve. First, you must be uncomfortable. Not injured, not discouraged. Uncomfortable. If you're in your comfort zone, your brain has no reason to adapt. The current pattern is sufficient. No adaptation happens without a challenge at the edge of current ability. Second, you must have feedback. Without knowing whether you're improving or reinforcing the mistake, you're guessing. You're hoping. Most practitioners don't measure anything. They have no idea whether yesterday's session actually improved them. This is like navigating with no map and hoping you're going the right direction. Feedback is your map. Third, you must correct based on that feedback. Knowing you're wrong means nothing if you keep doing it the same way. You identify the error, understand what caused it, and drill the opposite pattern until the original mistake disappeared. This is where people get stuck. Stuck means a plateau. Plateaus terrify most practitioners because they interpret plateaus as permanent. They're not. A plateau is your nervous system consolidating the skill before the next leap. If you quit at a plateau, you stay average forever. If you understand what a plateau is, you navigate through it. Here's the navigation system. When you plateau, one of 3 things is happening. First, your feedback mechanism is broken. You're measuring the wrong thing or not measuring at all. Fix the measurement. Get a coach. Record yourself. Use a timer. Use accuracy percentages. Use specific metrics. Second, your practice is too easy. You've adapted to the current challenge, so your brain isn't improving anymore. The solution is increased difficulty by 10%. not 50%. Massive jumps cause injury or burnout. Small increments work. Add one variable, increase one metric slightly. Progress happens at the edge of difficulty. Third, you're in consolidation phase, which is normal. Your nervous system is integrating the skill. This takes days or weeks, depending on complexity. During this phase, reduce practice volume slightly. Add rest, add sleep. Consolidation happens during recovery, not during training. This is the system that separates people who improve from people who stall. Here's how to implement it. Start with clear session goals, not practice for an hour, not play better, specific targets. Here's what that looks like. A pianist might plan. Isolate the left-hand fingering pattern in measures 17 through 22. Play it 20 times with 100% accuracy at 50% tempo. Record and verify. That's a goal. 1 hour of piano playing with no goal is not practice, it's time burning. Next, establish a measurement system. What are you tracking? For a basketball player shooting free throws, it might be 20 shots daily. Track make percentage, record form differences between makes and misses. For someone learning a language, it might be record yourself speaking. Track fluency, speed, count errors per minute. For a chess player, it might be position accuracy during puzzle training. Move selection speed, error rate per position. The measurement doesn't have to be fancy. It has to be consistent. Write it down, track it. This creates a feedback loop. Your brain improves based on data, not on vibes or hope. Without data, you're flying blind. This is the difference. 20 minutes of focused practice equals 2 hours of autopilot practice in results. This is not exaggeration. This is neurology. Your nervous system doesn't adapt to time. It adapts to signal quality. Clean signal, high focus, specific feedback. This is how nervous systems change. Picture a chess player preparing for competition. Instead of playing casual games, she studies 3 positions where she struggles. For each position, she asks, what's the winning move? What's the common mistake? How do I think through it faster? She analyzes the position, works through the logic, checks the solution. She does this with 50 positions over 3 weeks. Results vary based on current skill level. At competition, when she hits a familiar pattern, her response is instant. She's faced this before, thought it through before, solved it before. Her nervous system has the pattern loaded against someone who played casually without structure. Her response is obviously faster. This is the reality of mastery. Faster response means more practice, more measurement, more correction, not better genetics, not magic talent. Deliberate system? Stop here for a moment. This is where most people quit. They realize mastery requires systematic work, not inspiration. They realize their current approach is almost entirely wasted time. They realize they've been fooling themselves with hours that meant nothing. This frustration is good. It's honest. It's the beginning of actual improvement. The distinction between intermediate and expert is not talent. Research shows clearly experts in any field accumulated more focused practice, not more total practice. More focused practice, higher quality repetitions, more corrections, more measurement, more patience during plateaus. Now it gets specific. Here's how this looks across different skills. A vocalist working on breath control doesn't sing full songs over and over. She isolates sustained notes at a specific pitch, records herself, measures consistency, adjusts breathing mechanics, repeats. A martial artist learning a strike doesn't shadowbox randomly. He performs the strike slowly with perfect form 50 times, then increases speed by 20%, then adds resistance, then adds distraction. Each variable is added only after the previous variable is mastered. A software developer learning a new language doesn't write projects. She completes structured coding exercises that target specific syntax and logic patterns. She builds incrementally. Each exercise shows her whether she's understood the concept. If not, she reviews and redoes the exercise. If yes, she moves to the next level. This is systematic. This produces competence. A photographer learning composition doesn't just take pictures and hope they're good. She studies 6 principles of composition, finds examples of each, analyzes why they work, shoots with each principle as the daily focus, reviews her work against masters, adjusts, repeats. Her nerve is building a visual library. Her brain is learning to recognize good composition instantly because she's practiced it with feedback thousands of times. A public speaker improving delivery doesn't give random talks. She identifies 3 weakness areas: pacing, eye contact, vocal variety. She records herself, reviews, picks one area, practices that area specifically for 2 weeks with a coach, records again, compares, then moves to the next area. 6 weeks later, she's noticeably different. Not because she spoke more, because she spoke with focus. Here's what the research actually shows. Myelin, the insulation around neural pathways, increases with focused repetition. Your nervous system literally builds better connections when you practice with attention. But myelin doesn't care about time spent. It cares about the quality of repetition. Sloppy repetition builds sloppy myelination. Clean repetition builds efficient pathways. This is the neurology of skill. Your practice literally rewires your brain. The more focused your practice, the more efficient the rewiring. The more careless your practice, the more careless your skill becomes. You're not just wasting time with autopilot practice. You're actively cementing mediocrity into your nervous system. This is not exaggeration. This is not metaphor. This is literally what happens. Your brain builds pathways based on what you practice. Practice mistakes repeatedly. Your brain gets better at mistakes. Practice corrections repeatedly. Your brain gets better at correction. The implication is stark. Most of your current practice time is making you worse, not better. You're spending hours cementing the exact behaviors that limit you. This is why you're stuck. This is why hours don't translate to improvement. This is why you feel the frustration every session. Pay attention here. Breaking the plateau requires changing this pattern. You must shift from time-based to quality-based practice, from hours to feedback loops, from autopilot to conscious correction. Here's the framework. Every practice session should have 3 components. First, warm-up, 5 to 10 minutes of movement or review. Your nervous system needs to activate the relevant pathways. Cold practice isn't deliberate practice. It's sloppy, second targeted drilling, 30 to 45 minutes, focused on one weakness or one variable. Not the whole skill, one component, one measurement, one feedback mechanism. Fatigue ruins quality. Stop when form degrades. This is the hardest part for most people. They think more means better. More when fatigued means sloppy reinforcement. Stop the session when quality drops below 80%. Third, recovery and reflection. 5 to 10 minutes. Log what you improved, what's still weak, what you'll adjust next session. Cool down. Let your nervous system consolidate what just happened. Sleep after this session is when the real adaptation happens. Sleep is when your brain builds the myelin. Practice provides the signal. Sleep provides the construction. Without sleep, improvement stalls. This is the 3-part system: warm-up, focused work, consolidation, repeat consistently. Most people skip all 3 parts and wonder why they don't improve. The timeline for real improvement is measured in weeks and months, not hours. A beginner pianist committing to 3 weeks of focused practice will play better. A guitarist committing to 6 weeks, targeting one weakness, will notice clear difference. A language learner committing to 3 months with daily measurement will speak with noticeably better fluency. Results vary based on consistency and current level. But most people quit after 2 weeks because progress isn't linear. Improvement looks like this: small gain, plateau, bigger gain, plateau, bigger gain. That plateau isn't failure, that's consolidation. Most quit right before the breakthrough. The people who improve are the ones who understand this and stay with the system through the plateau. Here's the truth: most coaches don't say mastery is boring. It's systematic. It's measurement and adjustment. It's not inspirational. It's not fun in the moment. It's grinding through plateaus. It's staying focused when you're frustrated. It's measuring when you'd rather just play. This is why most people don't achieve mastery, not because they can't, because they won't embrace the boring system that actually works. The elite performers in any field all say similar things. It's not natural. It doesn't feel good in the moment. It requires discipline. It requires patience during plateaus. It requires measuring things most people ignore. This is why they're elite, not different genetics, different system. Here's what separates the serious practitioners from the rest. Serious practitioners know that improvement is measurable and predictable. If you follow the system, they know that motivation dies, but system persists. They know that talent is overrated and measurement is underrated. They know that quality beats quantity every single time. They know that the plateau is not the enemy. Quitting at the plateau is Most quit before they finish. Most quit at the plateau. Most quit when the system requires more discipline than they expected. The people who don't quit, who maintain the measurement system, who adjust during plateaus, who respect the boring process, those are the people who improve. Results are guaranteed if the system is followed. Results are impossible if the system is abandoned. Measure every session or you're just hoping. Discomfort means you're in the growth zone. Plateaus end when feedback loops restart. The difference between skill and autopilot is this one requires measurement and correction. The other requires nothing but repetition. You pick which one you're doing every single session. More mastery systems coming. Don't waste another hour.